Thank you for joining us for 10 Minutes with the Artist, an episodic series that explores the art practice and the personal vision that guides artists. On today's episode, we're very proud to have Emma Beatrez, who exhibited her recent works at the Memorial Union Gallery at North Dakota State University for the 2016 FMVA Exhibition. Emma creates ultra-personal paintings that explore what it means to be deeply affected. What and who do we let in? When do our decisions and those of others begin to shape our lives? What do we reveal and what do we hold inside? Emma's work is a portrait of a person put in the center of a story that they long ago rejected. I'm Anthony Ferris, and this is 10 Minutes with the Artist. Thank you so very much, Emma, for coming to 10 Minutes with the Artist. One of the things that I noticed about your piece is that when you sort of look at it, it appears sort of confrontational because of the gesture that the woman is giving, as well as almost her sort of blank expression. But then you have this sort of sense of place that is sort of delicate. You have all these the clothing around her. She looks like she's in a bedroom, and so it seems kind of private. So can you talk about that difference between the sort of confrontational aspect of the work with the sort of private and intimate nature of the work?
Yeah, actually in that painting I was trying to combine my outside perspective from this situation that one of my friends was involved in with a toxic relationship with this guy. He was very emotionally abusive towards her, and that made her really vulnerable and very sensitive towards the whole thing. And so during the whole thing I tried to give her advice, and she never really took that. So that was kind of my outside perspective, and I was just watching all this play out. And so yeah, after that, she just felt like she didn't deserve anything better than that, and that just kind of that's why I had the whole delicacy of it, but also kind of the crude handprints and stuff like that, I guess.
So was she sort of isolating herself?
Yeah, in some ways, mostly emotionally and mentally, I suppose.
Okay. You mentioned the handprints. You have these handprints that are almost sort of pawed on the background.
Yeah.
And then, but they're sort of this open-faced handprint, but then some of them are sort of clawed down. And then you have that gesture from her hand. Can you talk about sort of what you were thinking about with that very powerful gesture of the hand?
That was more so me thinking or me showing that she was trying to get out of this relationship, but she couldn't. It was just a whole cyclical event of trying to get away and then just falling back into the same pattern over and over again.
Okay.
But yeah.
And so can you talk a little bit about that big gesture that she was giving?
Oh, actually, the painting is of me, so I was giving the FU towards the whole situation because there was nothing I could do about it, and I knew it was just a terrible situation all together, and there's just not much I could do. But yeah.
Okay. So you were communicating that not only through the figure, but you chose a certain sort of color palette that's pretty muted. Can you talk a little bit about that?
In most of my pieces, I stick to more of a classical colors, with the olives and the white, blue, purples, but more so toned down, just because there's just I just find that more appealing for me, I guess. That's pretty much why.
Okay. You have this beautiful patterning. If anybody gets a chance to look up at the painting very close up, sort of where the headdress area is. There's like beautiful patterning of the hair underneath it, or maybe that's the fabric. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
Okay, which is just really turns the piece, which could be very dark, into something just very beautiful and elegant. So I was wondering if you could talk about that sort of how you created that patterning.
It was more so supposed to look like some sort of gauze type material, so like a bandage kind of thing, and like I was trying to like emulate like that she was not able to see where it was going and like how terrible it was because like her eyes were like all bandaged up and she was just oblivious. So
Okay.
that's what I was trying to go for with that.
Can you talk a little bit about maybe something that you, because you made a lot of choices when you were making this painting. One of the things that I noticed is that one of the elbows is sort of reddish. And I was wondering if there was anything sort of hidden in the work or something that maybe a viewer wouldn't necessarily notice that you integrated into the work that you might sort of reveal to us.
Honestly, most of it was supposed to be just very straightforward throughout the whole piece, so I didn't really hide much, I guess. I mostly just like the handprints in the background, but obviously everybody can see that. But
Okay.
it was just supposed to be like a little extra touch to it.
Okay. And can you talk a little bit about how this piece sort of works with the greater body of work that you've been sort of creating recently?
I feel like most of my pieces, or so I've heard, they're kind of dark. I don't ever feel that they're really dark except for maybe that piece, but I just do what I think is like beautiful and pure, I guess. And people can think what they want about it, I guess, but I just like it.
Okay. Can you talk a little bit about that, so why you're choosing portraiture in a lot of your work?
I feel like portraits versus landscapes are more personal, unless, like, I guess the landscape is, like, where you came from, or you have, like, an emotional connection to it, but I just find human connection to be a beautiful thing, and I don't really get that from landscapes very much. So.
Okay. And pretty soon you're going to be exhibiting with a couple of other artists.
Yeah.
You all have created a studio. Could you talk a little bit about that and sort of how that experience has sort of been sort of unveiling itself to you?
Yeah, our studio, Ochre Creative Studios, is, I didn't expect that to come about so quickly. Like, it was just a vague idea or, like, a dream in the distance that we had come up with, and it's actually happening. And we have our first show on March 5th, so we will see how that goes, and it's actually going very well right now. Like, it's amazing. It's so exciting.
Okay. Sort of at the end of the interview, we like to ask a few questions just sort of about your creative process.
Okay.
So I guess the first question would be, when do you feel most creative?
After I've had my cup of coffee in the morning.
Okay. Do you listen to any sort of music or anything like that when you're making work?
Oh, definitely. Every time that I'm working, I always have music on. It's not anything specific. It's just like whatever I'm feeling at the time, but probably not country. Anything but country.
Okay. So you're very inspired by country music. Is that what I'm getting from?
Oh, yes,
okay.
Definitely.
So what are you reading anything right now?
Actually, I was just at the Union reading this book that my mom gave me. It was called Show Your Work, and it's just like a book about just getting your work out there and how to interact with other artists and like just developing yourself more as an artist.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you so very much, Emma, for your time, and I'd like to thank you all for your time and your interest in the professional practice and creative endeavors of our students here at North Dakota State University. Thank you so very much, and for everyone here at the Memorial Union Gallery, keep creative.